Good afternoon, America. This is the Unemployed Podcast. Those of you who have nothing to do, no prospects, will come here to listen to me rant about either overstated mumbo-jumbo in the zeitgeist, and for words like zeitgeist, or because you're on a lot of drugs and you're trying something new. You are trying something new. So I'm on a diet right now. Yesterday I had Taco Bell and 2 large pieces of fried chicken. I had 3 burritos at Taco Bell. Actually, 2 burritos and a taco. Okay, it was a double stack. Not bad. For dessert I had Hershey Kisses, and I haven't eaten anything since then because, well, actually it's a lie, I had a sandwich. But I haven't really eaten anything unhealthy since then because during Hershey, I took a bite of a Hershey Kiss. I farted so I made a really nasty fart right in the middle of that Hershey Kiss, and I don't know if you've ever been really addicted to drugs and almost died in a car accident or something like that. And then you have that realization, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I keep this up. And then you get high like 10 minutes later because the adrenaline is really working you. And you know that if you do it now, it's probably going to feel really good. So I had a couple more Hershey Kisses after that, but not since then. We shall see. Not since then. Yesterday I had nothing prepared to talk about, and I think that was good. Today, I had a couple things I wanted to talk about, so I don't think I'll talk about them. But I do want to talk about the show Suits. Okay, I've been watching the show Big Bang Theory recently, and it's just entertaining enough to where I don't make any bodily movements. I laugh, maybe chuckle, maybe once or twice an episode. But it's just soul-sucking and mind-draining enough to where I don't want to get in my car and run it into the pond nearby. But I don't really understand the show Suits. I tried it for a little bit. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. My brother loves watching it. My mother watches it. I tried this episode. And it's one of those shows where where it's almost funny to watch how predictable the actual run of the show is. Like I watched this episode, the black lawyer, or should I just say lawyer? Oh, we should just say lawyer. The lawyer, Alex, bring his daughter to work day, or his daughter got suspended or something, and so he went in to one of the female lawyers, and he was like, hey, I need you to watch her, she's been like disrespecting me because I don't think she was cool. And then she's like, well, why do I have to do it? And he was like, because you're a badass, and I need her to see that. And so I don't know, this was actually a little shocking. But it turns out in the episode, the girl thought she was cool at first, but then something happened to where she thought she wasn't cool. And then the episode progressed in such a way that the female lawyer ended up doing something to where the girl now thinks she's a badass. Those were her exact words. Oh, yeah, you're a badass. Maybe it's not the best rendition of why I'm a little disgusted, but, what a waste of time. I literally sat there watching the episode. There's multiple scenes where it's like, my dad never lets me do anything. You're cool, and I want to hang out with you because you're cool. And not only does the female lawyer eventually do something to make the girl think she's cool, but she also does something to make the girl respect her dad. Suits is one of those shows where you feel smart by watching it, even though it's absolutely retarded. You feel smart by understanding. This is why I think people watch it. You feel cool by understanding, these minute situations the lawyers get themselves into. Where it's like, oh, there's an issue. I must solve this issue somehow. Okay, now that I solved it, but now something else went wrong, and somebody else got screwed out of this deal. So now, I have to go solve that problem. And then once I solve that problem, then everything will be okay. And then there's some sort of like sexual tension. That's 90% of why people watch it, is because the people on that show are hot. Which is a pretty good reason to watch a show. I watched a lot of shows on Pornhub for that exact reason. So, yeah, I really like Donna. Donna's really hot. She's a 10. I don't like Meghan Markle. She's a fucking moron. God, that bitch is so fucking stupid. I swear to God. Pretty much all of her plot twists are, my dad was a famous lawyer, and he's black. I'm half black, and I don't get taken seriously because I'm a woman or half black. So now I'm going to do something to kind of get taken seriously. It's kind of like how she had to prove herself in the royal household, probably by whipping one of their slaves in the back. Something like that. I'm kind of in a mood today. I'm trying to drink some caffeine to stay awake. Felt a little drowsy on my way to the office. Like how deep my voice got there on the way to the office. So yeah, we'll see how this show goes today. I'm not feeling very race baity today. Not feeling very controversial. I'll probably talk about abortion at some point. Maybe not today. But yeah, I'm just going to keep looking at this Burger King sign. In a hotel parking lot. Too much information. Don't want to talk about women again. Although I probably will. Because I really want to suck on some tits. It's been too long. You can't get out of shape if you're in shape. I don't know how to get girls when I'm fat. And I really miss tits. It's like the number one thing I miss, actually. Well, this is off to a poor start. Let's see where it goes. Kind of want to talk about crackheads. Anybody hang out with crackheads? It's very fun. And I don't mean like your crazy friend. Oh my God, he drives drunk. He's a crackhead. No. Your friend's an alcoholic. Big difference. Alcoholics can at least, buy their drugs with what they make at work. Crackheads have to steal, and they get fired from their jobs. Love crackheads. I really don't. I don't hang out with crackheads. It is pretty fun. It's meeting and hanging out with a crackhead at first is very fun. They think they know you think they know everything. They introduce you to these substances that you never considered trying. You feel like you two are going to do something special together. Because the reality is, most people who get into drugs aren't actually that retarded. They're like, most of them are mentally ill, so they talk really quickly. And if you smoke a lot of weed with them, they sound very smart just because they can say a lot of words in a row. Like, like this one crackhead friend I met. He explained to me how he could make a bomb with my car battery, and he didn't use any specifics. He was just like, "Yeah, dude, like I could totally make this with a car battery." And you just sit there, you know. I can grow weed with a car battery. You can do anything with a car battery. Yeah, but I specifically wanted to talk about hanging out with crackheads. It's a very interesting endeavor. It's again, it's very fun at first. You don't want to lend them your money. Not necessarily because you're not going to get it back. That's a given, by the way. Don't give a crackhead money. Doesn't matter if you have a gun or not. They will run away from you, and you will have to shoot them or rob them for all the paper plates they have in their cupboard. Because a good portion of them have apartments and shit jobs that they just spend all their money making. Nobody works harder than a crackhead with a job, by the way. I've worked. That's where I met my first crackhead friend. I started at a moving company. I met this crackhead friend. We'll call him Joel. Call him Joel for whatever reason. So Joel, I meet him for the first time. I won't say the company. But so every morning we go to McDonald's, and Joel is quitting cigarettes. Now Joel has 2 cigarettes left and some cocaine. So we stop at McDonald's. He's like, I'm quitting cigarettes. I swear to God, I'm fucking stopping this shit right now. He's like, literally, I've never met him before. He's just wildly cursing. And then he, every 5 minutes while we were at that McDonald's, he'd take a little sniff off his hand. He'd crouch away. He was a driver, by the way. He'd crouch to the left, put something on his hand, and then bring it up, sniff it right off his hand. Toss the cigarettes out the window because, he didn't want to be unhealthy. If you do cocaine, you don't want to you don't want to be smoking cigarettes too. It's one or the other, buddy. You don't cross streams. But anyway, Joel. So I started hanging out with Joel. He had some pretty good weed. I drive him home because he was on the way. And he really wanted me to get into cocaine. And now when I say crackhead, I denoted somebody's like, an alcoholic isn't a crackhead. Maybe an alcoholic who does some cocaine isn't a crackhead. When I say crackhead, I do obviously mean somebody who does crack. But I also mean somebody who does a lot of coke all day and Molly all day. Molly, cocaine, some crack mixed in there with some Fenty. Which, by the way, I don't understand why Trump's trying to declare. I don't understand how Trump won running on the basis of getting rid of drugs and illegal immigrants in this country. It feels like the new abortion, where it's like, I don't know that many people who actually care that much about drugs. It's like the new abortion in the sense that we all think it's bad, but we're all cool with it if it's legal, right? Like everybody's on ketamine now. Let's do acid. Oh, acid's not legal. Ketamine, Percocet, above board, classy things. I went off the rails a little bit. Anyway, Joel, almost said his real name, Joel. But I liked hanging out with Joel. He'd tell me some things. He kind of felt like an older brother. He gave me some free cocaine at first. I ended up getting fired at that job not for cocaine, but for similar reasons. Story for another time. Actually, it's a pretty quick story. Everybody smoked weed, whether they were driving or whether they were working. Moving company. Your drivers are probably high. gotta tell you. Especially a junk hauling company. Those motherfuckers are cracked out. Or pedophiles. There's one guy, Jeremy. I don't care. Fuck Jeremy. It's his real name. I don't know his last name. But fuck Jeremy. He was a pedophile. A known pedophile. Like, everybody at work was like, yeah, that dude was convicted for pedophilia. Nobody respected him. He was kind of nice to me. Lazy as shit. You know, you think if you're a pedophile, you'd have a stronger work ethic when you're with people, but you know, he really didn't seem to be that way. He's definitely gay, too. The theory that pedophiles are gay is definitely true. Which is kind of funny to think that they'd rather be a pedophile than gay. Like, that was probably what happened in the old days, where, you know, avoid your inclinations and tendencies to fuck children. Kind of a weird depart there. Anyway, so kind of going the long way around. I'll get to the meat. So anyway, I hung out with Kevin, and you know, a few months in, giving him money, you know, whatever, here and there. Clearly was taking. Oh wait, that says his real name. Joel Kevin was his. That's his pseudonym. The pseudonym, whatever the fuck. If there's a P, I thought it was silent. Anyway. So Joel, you know, I give him money here and there. He clearly would be taking our cocaine. I mean, every time we get cocaine, it was such an arduous process. It would take him like 40 minutes to get all the cocaine. He'd come back like sniffling his nose. Nobody had a scale, and we didn't, you know, me and my other buddies who I introduced him to did not care enough to bother. Or test it, by the way. You know, don't be a pussy. Just, you know, when you go to the drive-thru, you go to a restaurant, you get what you order. You don't fucking customize every single little thing. Don't be a baby with drugs. But anyway, you don't want to lend them money. I lent Kevin specifically $300 one time. He had recently lost his job, probably due to his rampant cocaine use and mental illness. He would do a lot of screaming and flipping out on people at work, especially Jeremy, which was really funny. You know, I don't even know if Jeremy was a pedophile. I think he was because of how he acted, but like Kevin was the first guy. I think he spread that rumor or something. What really happened, I think, when he was like 21, he like fucked a 15-year-old he was tutoring, which is, you know, not a great look. I'm 21, not my thing. So yeah, he is a little bit of a pedophile. But I think like Kevin like spread the rumor that he was like a pedophile. Like every time he'd anyone bring up Jerry, he'd be like, "Oh, that dude's a fucking pedophile," which I guess he was. You know, it's funny. I I don't like the term hebephile. I think everybody should sort of be grouped together. You know, it's like, I'm 21. I don't understand how you look at a 15-year-old, and even if they have big tits or whatever, which none of them do, or at least I don't know. Even if they have big tits, they're all really small, and they all either have acne or they just look really... You know, I'm not a pedophile. So they look pretty young. Okay, 15-year-olds, no matter how fat their tits, how nice their ass. Again, none of them have any of that. Chris Deila, or Delilah, whatever the fuck it is. Oh, 15-year-old, like, how do you tell? How can you not tell? Even when they're wearing makeup. If it is dark and you can't see their face, like, even again, even if they have big tits and a nice ass, they're still very narrow. Like, they haven't fully grown yet. They're pretty small people. How like all these 15-year-olds, they're wearing like booty shorts. It's like hard to tell. It's not hard to tell. It is very, very easy to tell if somebody is under the age of 18. 17, I can give it to you. I've been duped a couple times. Not going to judge anybody. But to say, these 14, they're hot. They're hot. They're not. Okay, they're not. They look very young. I get queasy even thinking about that because I am a good, upstanding citizen. Anyway, Jeremy was a pedophile. Fuck Jeremy. Very funny. I remember this one time. I'll get back to the Kevin thing, but I like thinking about Jeremy. He was funny. I remember this one time we're in the truck. It's like when you're in the truck with other moving guys, you either check out women or stay completely silent. So number one, Jeremy always would specifically turn on like 13-year-old pop music, not like T Swift, Katy Perry, like the pseudo emo, the quasi emo type of music in the car, and it felt like he was trying to memorize the words to look cool in a younger crowd. I don't know. It was pretty weird. I think it was 104.7 or something like that. It was above 103. Remember that. Above 100, I think. I know it was above 100. Very important detail I get correct. Anyway, in a metropolitan area, nonetheless. In case you were wondering, a metropolitan area. Anyway, we'd all be checking out girls, and there was this one time, like any time we'd see a girl, we'd go, damn, and we'd point them out, and then we'd all re-up, we'd go, damn, she's bad. And I remember this one time there was literally like a 20-year-old stick, like no tits, no ass or anything. Me and this other guy. Jeremy wouldn't react, by the way. He'd go. He would just sit there. He always looked kind of disgruntled. He always looked slightly upset. Like he put up a bit of a facade around customers, which would slowly wither away as his narcissism would kick in. And we'd be loading the truck while he would be standing there talking about how he knows like basic chemistry. he's like a 6-year mover, fucking or a junk hauler. We weren't even moving. It was also a moving company. We didn't do any moves. He's like a 6-year junk hauler, fucking talking about how he's in college or some stupid story about him and his friend fagging or queering, as Theo Von would say, or Theo Von's friend's dad. Very funny story. But I'm getting really roundabout. I just find these details to be a little bit entertaining. But there's this like 20-year-old. I could tell by her face, because you can always tell by their face. Again, I could tell by her face she was like 20 or something. But a complete stick. Me and this other guy had finished going, damn. And Jeremy goes, oh yeah. And then we're like looking, we're like, what? Like, which person are you talking to? He like points to the 12-year-old stick figure body. And he goes, her. And we just, oh, jeez. But yeah, clearly a pedophile, clearly a fag. He wore earrings, I don't understand the word fag, Same, women can call us assholes, fucking dickheads, piece of shit, bitch. They actually do that. By the way, every time I say women, I've literally had one girlfriend. I haven't had more than a single girlfriend. I'm just very opinionated. But anyway, I guess I'll go back to Kevin. Or Joel Kevin. Joel Kevin. Say it a third time, it's funnier. Joel Kevin. So, anyway, this one time, this was close to when I was done hanging out with Kevin. Joel, I gotta stop doing that. Joel, I kind of figured I could get cocaine on my own. I was never really that big. Actually, out of all of the drugs I did, I never got really into cocaine. Like, I did it, and I enjoyed doing it, and there would be times when I would go get it. But I never like really, really craved it. I never got that deep into that hole. But anyway, the story and then the moral of the story. So I lend Joel $300 for his rent. He's like, "Oh man, like I got fired. My job. Like my last paycheck, I spent it. I need a couple hundred for my rent." And I was pretty much done hanging out with him at this point. This was kind of like a final test. So I give him $300 for his rent, and then we part ways. I come back the next day so we can smoke weed and drink, whatever. And I said, "How was your night?" And he goes, "Oh, it was great, man." I said, "Oh, what'd you do?" He said, "Well, I got a bunch of cocaine." I said, "Okay." And then he said, "And then I got a midget hooker." And I said, "Wow." And at that point, there are a couple things crossing through my mind. Number one, I thought you needed money for your rent, and you're telling me he spent, and now he's telling me he spent all this money on a hooker and below. And that part of my mind is certainly present, but there's a larger part of my mind filled with curiosity. So I go, "Well, how tall was she?" And he says, "Oh, actually not, really not that short, like 4'2", 4'3". Whoa, you have a picture? So at this point, I pretty much, I loaned him that money without expecting to get it back. I didn't even bother to grill him. I just went, I was very curious as to what this midget hooker would look like. And so he shows me a picture. Pretty hot blonde, actually. Pretty, nice tits, well built. A proportional head, which was very, very, very nice to look at. And I'm very interested in all the statistics of this. I go, "How much was it?" He goes, "Oh, about 185, but I probably got an extra half hour." I was like, "Oh shit, how?" And he was like, "Well, I gave her some cocaine, and she just, she sucked my dick for an extra half hour." I was like, "What?" Completely, at this point, nearly oblivious to the fact that he had spent the $300 on what should have been my hooker. It's very interesting because, you don't want to lend your money to crackheads, not because you're going to get it back, not because you aren't going to get it back, but because you're going to want to start spending it on the things they are. It's very, very, probably should have prefaced it with this. It might have made more sense as to why I was speaking in that progression. Whatever the fuck that means. No, but it's it's very fun to be a crackhead. It's very fun to be a broke crackhead. It's very fun to be a cokehead, a drug addict, a degenerate. It's very fun because if you're always on drugs, then you never really have to face life. So if you don't want to face life, I highly recommend starting a savings account, put 5-10 G's in it, start doing cocaine and buying hookers on a nightly basis, going to work. You can probably squeeze another 2 to 3 months out of your job once you begin this journey. Probably squeeze another 2 to 3 months. So factor that in to your expenses, which will only be rent. You don't need water. You don't really need food. But yeah, it's fun. Hit my vape. Got one more fun story to tell. And you meet a lot of interesting characters when you're a drug addict. Met some through Joel. Met really only a couple. He kind of wanted to keep me isolated, make sure I was his cocaine funnel, basically. You meet some fun people. I met this one guy through Joel. It's me and my friend Steve. We'll call him. Hopefully I can remember to just say Steve. But me and Steve go to Joel's house, and we're ready to get high. Joel came to me the day before. He goes, "Hey, I'm gonna have my friend over tomorrow night. He's gonna bring some Molly. Which kind do you want?" I go, "There's multiple kinds." He goes, "Yeah, there's pink Molly, there's white Molly, and there's brown Molly." And I go, "Oh, like, what's the difference?" He's like, "Well, the pink one will get you really energized, wake you up. The white Molly, kind of similar, gets you pretty wired. The brown Molly gets you really fucking horny, real horned up." And I go, "Okay, I guess the white." And he's like, "Well, he only has brown." So I'm like, "Okay, all right, whatever." I don't even think that's true. I think that's just like heroin. I don't think it was heroin, because I did some. I really doubt it was heroin. But anyway, we show up with that in mind. We're ready to have a nice night. And my friend Steve, far more experienced in this world with me, we get up there and we're introduced to somebody. And this was the only night I hung out with him. It was a very interesting night. But he was Uncle T. Uncle T. We open the door. I say, "Yo, what's up, Joel?" He comes up. That I don't need to use a pseudonym. I don't know his real name. He just called himself Uncle T. He was like, "Hey, this is my friend." He was like, "Hey, yo, I'm Uncle T. Y'all want some Molly?" It was the first thing he said. Which was, of course we wanted some Molly. And my friend Steve, very smart, he's like, "Dude, we gotta get as much of it as we can tonight, because they always give you the good shit at first." I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, that's right. They always give you the good shit at first. We can buy it all tonight." And he gave him a great deal, so clearly that wasn't true. But anyway, he gave him a great deal. I think it was 10 grams for 100. He gave him 10 grams for $120. Jesus Christ. That's like weed price. Well, it's not. That'd be expensive weed, but I know my weed prices. They'll be top shelf. Better than top shelf. Better than A+ top shelf. But anyway, we were doing some coke, some Molly, drinking with good old Uncle T. It was a bit of the brown stuff. Don't know why we chose to do that. We could have just been doing coke. But it did get me very horny. Not like in any sort of, outward sense. I was just like very itchy to get some pussy. And I started to mention, I'm like, dude, like, do we have any girls? Like, it feels very weird just sitting here, very, very horny in a group full of guys doing a bunch of drugs. Kevin goes, oh, don't worry, man, this is very heterosexual environment. By the way, his apartment was absolutely disgusting. The most disgusting apartment I've ever seen. His couch stained, literally clothes draped all over it. Me and Steve actually used some of the clothes on the fucking couch just so we didn't get ticks or AIDS, whatever the fuck was left on there. He had an ottoman of which he would not only put his weed in one pile, but it was also like garbage and lint. It looked like he had a broom and a dustpan, but no garbage can. So he just thought the ottoman would be a good place to remind him to take it out at some point. Right in the middle of the room, literally a stack of dirt, lint, and weed sitting in the middle of his fucking ottoman, right in the middle of his TV. Speaking of, so anyway, we're having a good time. I'm just specifically going to talk about the apartment now. I go into the bathroom. I've never seen a bathroom covered with more pubes in my entire life. It was absolutely horrifying. Pubes literally from the floor to the ceiling, the shower completely, the wall, hair and pubes. And he was a redhead, and these were brown hairs, so again, don't really think he had his hair dyed recently. His fucking mirror was covered with pubes. His toilet was covered. It looked like he was trying to make some sort of fucking abstract drawing out of his pubes on every wall. It was a new impressionist style where you glue your pubes to a canvas and sell it to Dylan Mulvaney. I don't know, some gay guy. Who's somebody prominent and gay? John Elton. Something Joe Biden would make. Or Hunter Biden would make. Sorry. Hunter Biden probably would have... I wish Hunter Biden was there, man. He would have led us to the promised land. Would have made the night a whole lot more interesting. Pennies scattered all across the floor. It was very interesting. He probably had like 400 to 500 pennies scattered across the floor. Like, you know how some physicists use marbles, or in the movie Oppenheimer takes glasses and he just like chucks them at the ground, some sort of particle, configuration to figure that out. It looked like that, except he was on too much meth and just collected a lot of coins, but scattered out all across his bed. Or maybe that's his hooker tip money. Go ahead and I got some fives on the floor, baby. Had a lot of pennies. Very weird. So anyway, Uncle T probably an hour in goes, all right, we got to get some girls. Uncle T was black. I don't know, Uncle T, I don't know if you thought Uncle T was black, but Uncle T, and by the way I said his first line, you probably assumed he was black. Not that matters. I definitely think I'm funnier than I am. I'm just kind of mulling over what really happened. But anyway, Uncle T says, let's go get some girls. I know a whorehouse. So I have a car. I drive us all down to this apartment building. And Uncle T says, all right, guys, we'll each do $30. It's $120 for an hour. So I'll go up. It was 4 of us. I'll go up for 15 minutes. I'll come back down for 15 minutes. Then we'll switch. And everybody throwing in extra 10 because, we need to tip. We're good people. So we're waiting in the car for about an hour and a half. Uncle T finally comes down. We're like, dude, what the hell? Like where have you been? He's like, all right, it's your turn. And so we go up to the lobby, and then it's my turn. So I get grabbed on the arm. Sort of takes me upstairs. She's like, you got the money? I'm like, what? He had the money. She's like, nah, he he just used it all. And Uncle T's like, I ain't use it all. Y'all trying to scam us out of money? Damn, all right, guess we gotta go. Damn, y'all really bitches be crazy. God damn, I just paid y'all. He's like saving face. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. So anyway, that was my experience with Uncle T, a true original grifter, OG. Never saw him one more time after that. My friend Steve bought Molly one more time, didn't go back. Kind of turned out to be right. But yeah, you have some interesting experiences. You have some interesting experience. You might fuck your first hooker. You might do some fentanyl-laced coke. You will definitely do some fentanyl-laced coke. You do fentanyl-laced whatever you have. But yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. Eventually, you run out of money. That's really the only issue. That's why drug addicts. It's the only reason why drug addicts stop. Isn't it because they're overdosing or whatever? It's either because they're literally dying or they're out of money. That's why everybody's rock. They're like, even actors are like, I'm losing my parts. Nobody wants to work with me. It's like, that's the only reason you stop. People say they hit their rock. I hit my rock bottom. I couldn't do it anymore. It's like, I didn't want to do it anymore. It's like, yeah, you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to do it anymore because you were out of money. You were tired of literally scavenging the earth for money. And that tells you how good heroin and meth is, by the way. I've never tried it, but heard some stories. Go to rehab. Ugh. I need to take a shit, man. Really need somebody else to talk to. I'm just 21-year-old. An okay storyteller. Got a decent sized dick. I will have a job. My goal in life is to take money from other people. Through poker. Yeah, it is very interesting getting off drugs. You wonder when you're going to go back. The only time I think I know this is going to happen because I'm speaking it into existence and I want it to happen, is I'm going to be hanging out with a girl and she's going to go want some coke, and then I'm going to be like, yeah, how much do you have? And then she's going to be like, a couple lines, and I'm going to say, okay, let's go get some more. But I know it's going to be for some pussy. I know for a fact it's going to be for pussy. But then again, 9 months. 9 months clean and sober, except for nicotine. Anybody who says, oh, well, you're not sober, you smoke nicotine, is a fucking bitch. Okay? I am sober. Alright? It's a hell of a lot better. It doesn't do anything to you. Nicotine does nothing to you except occasionally get you a nice buzz in your head and gives you something to do when somebody's talking incessantly. Bring some spice to your newfound tepid life. Nicotine is great. Weed is God's drug. No, it's nicotine. Nicotine is the best drug. It's as addictive, probably a little more addictive as any drug. It's, rather fucking smoke nicotine than eat Burger King all day. I'll smoke nicotine, eat Taco Bell and fried chicken all day. Excuse me. I'm a healthy person. I go to Taco Bell once to twice a day. Yeah, nicotine's nice. Should be interesting. There's no way this actually blows up whatsoever. I would actually have to make it interesting. But it's fascinating to see where this goes. It really is. What am I at? 46 minutes. Jesus fucking Christ. Thought I'd been going for like 30. Alright. Time for a piss. This is your new ASMR. Me pissing in a cup. In an empty hotel parking lot. Oh my god. Would you like to build a snowman? Oh god. There we go. I listened back to yesterday's. I contradicted myself like 3 or 4 times in the race issue game. Surprisingly. So I'd like to clear a couple of those up. Couple things up. I said if you're intimidated by black people, you are not racist. You are pragmatic in most situations. And then I said, if you're angry at black people, you're intimidated by them, and you're racist. You're only racist if you're angry at black people for being black. You're not angry if you're intimidated. That's natural. They're intimidated by police officers. That's natural. I'm not intimidated by police officers. It's very natural. I got away with 2 counts of drunk driving in one night when I was 16. That would not have happened if I wasn't in a fucking. I don't want to say the neighborhood. That wouldn't have happened if I was across the highway, or not, yeah, across Route 1, I guess I can say. I'm on the good side of Route 1. Scary times. Is it really scary? I'm very insulated. It's not really scary for me. It's pretty banal, actually. I would like for it to be scary. Bring some juice into my life. That's why white people do all that shit. Like black people, like, I don't understand. That's like white people shit. It's like skydiving, scuba diving. It's like, yeah, we don't have a lot going on, man. It's like that's why hanging out with black people and being in like a black friend group is typically more fun, because there's like more drama. And black people like to talk about other drama too. So that's also what makes it more fun. People fight more. Yo, man, you hear about what happened to Angie the other day? Nah, man. She pregnant. And her daughter pregnant. She's 16. It's like real conversations I hear on the bus. It's very interesting. Black men, I mean, the older ones are so cool. They're still out there swinging, getting their beak wet. They have some of the most interesting stories. Actually, now that I think about it, I guess maybe it's not the best sample size, but more than half of every adult black male I've spoken to has been a drug dealer. A couple of them have went to jail, or almost went to jail, for that reason. So, just saying, it ain't all stereotypes. But it really doesn't matter. I mean, I would deal drugs if I could. It's such a great revenue stream. There's no taxes. If the underworld was, was anything like Target, it would be the best business economy in the world. It's still one of the best business economies to get into. Business economy, that's not a term. It's still one of the best businesses to get into. Outside of the risk of getting shot and killed and robbed. Those are your only threats, really. If you're not retarded, if you're not Walter White, if you're not Gus Fring, if you're not fucking Pablo Escobar, but even he could have kept it going. He got too big for his britches. He started running for politician and stuff. Just deal coke. You have more money than you want in the entire world. Yeah, the FBI's coming after you. Diversify in a different country. Russia was with you. Russia was with them. Russia would send in imports. You had a submarine lined with coke. Take it to the Caymans. You know what I mean? Very profitable. I recommend it to anybody. You'll get a lot of girls. You'll get a lot of money. If you do it right. Just don't be fucking... I mean, even if you're a shitty, low-level drug dealer, you can make $1,000 a week and have a lot of drugs left over. Everybody should be dealing drugs at some point in their life. It's a great lesson. It teaches you whether or not you are an entrepreneur. I am not. I tried. I posted one time on my Snapchat story, I posted pills, recycle bin, and the grass sign for weed. Nobody came knocking, because that's not how you do it. You have to corner a tiny bit of the market. And then just sell drugs. It's so fucking easy. I'll see how long it takes me. If you're sober but you're unemployed, are you off the wagon? Or is the wagon tipping? The wagon rocking around? I'm still on the wagon. God, I fucking hated working at Walmart. I had to quit that job. I didn't have to. I really shouldn't have. But, Jesus Christ, what a fucking... I mean, I was working the self-checkout and the register. I've never been more bored in my life. And especially being fat, your feet hurt for most of the day. And most of them are fat as shit. I mean, the calluses on their feet are probably made of titanium at this point. It's shocking to see I mean, I guess it's purely statistics, but it's shocking to see how fucking fat everybody is that works in a grocery store. You have to be on your feet all day. And to maintain that level of fatness, well, doing that 8 hours a day, 5 to 6 times a week, I don't think Americans deserve enough credit for our determination of widespread obesity. We eat so much food proportionally how much we work. You know, we still show up to work, whether or not we do a good job. We show up to work for 8 hours a day like a fucking slug. No other countries can do that. No one else. You know, we are the hardest working people, you know, compared to the what should I call it? Proportionally to the commodities at our disposal and nutrition at our disposal, you know, as much as you can afford, we are extremely hardworking. I'm tired of people saying we aren't. I saw multiple 250-pound women show up to work like it was nothing, sit there for an 8-hour shift. They're outdoing me. I'm walking up to them like, my feet hurt. They're like, yeah, like, okay. You know, like, I gotta make dinner when I get home. You don't have to make dinner, but they're gonna make dinner. You know, they're sitting pretty. Well, depending on your preferences. They're sitting pretty. You know, but God, that job fucking sucked. I lasted about 4 weeks at that job. 4 weeks. The final straw wasn't even a final straw. I would fuck with people at that job. I was starting to instigate things with customers. I was almost trying to get fired. I was very sarcastic with people. Like there's one guy that came in. There, out of all of the self-checkout machines, there's one that's blank, that's like black and had a rebooting screen. And this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, like what's wrong with that machine? Like I just scanned everything and now it can't pay." I'm just like looking at one screen and then I'm looking at the other screen that's a completely different color, half black, doesn't show anything, and then I go, because he's fucking some of these customers, man. Those who don't smell like piss are either fat assholes, same category. No, there's two types of bad customers. Those who smell like piss and talk too much. They like to linger. It's some sort of power play or something. And those who are just assholes, which I actually enjoy dealing with. They bring a little bit of a spark to my day, some life. Anyway, so I'm looking at these two screens. He's like 6'4", 6'5". He's being very aggressive with me, and then I go, yeah. You see how this screen says start scanning, and this screen is a completely different color? How they're not the same at all? So, yeah, that one wasn't working. So you have to use one of these or any of the other ones that look completely different. And he's like, "You're telling me I did it wrong?" And I go, yes, I'm telling you I did it wrong. You did it wrong. This screen is different. I said this is different from this screen, you see? So use this screen. And he goes, "Don't get mouthy with me." And I go, I'm not getting mouthy with you. I'm just pointing out, yeah, you use the one screen that's completely different. And he goes, okay, like, yeah, don't start with me, mister. Hey. And he goes like, hey. He like looks all intimidating with me, or like intimidating. I actually got that jolt, which, you know, I always like to. We all like to, like in our own heads. Probably guys, women probably have the opposite of this, or maybe they don't. I don't fucking know. Think about makeup and dolls all day. I don't know. Billie Eilish, who's very hot, by the way. We all have this fantasy where probably 2 to 3 times a day we think about how badly we would beat somebody up in a fight and how exactly we would do it. Anytime I'm in real potential confrontation, my body is literally, it's like shaking, but not like the fear shaking. It's kind of like a bad high. I have like that high tense feeling. My shoulders are tensing up. I got that jolt, like that flinch jolt you give when somebody surprises you, like So yeah, I got one of those. Didn't make me feel like a pussy. I don't know if I would actually win in a fight. I think I'm too intrinsically afraid, as much as I fantasize about it. But anyway, just like, if I had that all day at Walmart, I would love my job, because there's nothing better than hating a job and somebody giving you a legitimate reason to act out that anger. There's nothing better. Like you ever do something slightly wrong and an employee kind of flips out on you, and then you go like you were in the wrong, and then they get mad and you're like, geez, like I don't think they were supposed to do that. Yeah, they hate their job. You actually just did something very nice for them. You allowed them to be angry. All these people coming up, oh, hey, like, long day, huh? Yeah. It has been a long day. You don't need to point it out, okay? Why don't you say, fuck you? Start walking up to grocery workers, because they hate their job, okay? As much as they say they don't hate their job, they can stand their job. Standing your job means you don't hate your job enough to the point where you're going to walk out. You're there for the paycheck. Maybe you like some of the people there. But you hate, they hate their job. So start walking up to grocery workers and go, hey, fuck you, you piece of shit. And then they go, whoa, like, sir, like, that was uncalled for. You go, you little bitch. Fuck you, you piece of shit. And then they'll go, I can't believe I'm calling the manager. Fuck you, sir. Keep saying, you fucking cunt. I bet your mother was a whore. Just say things like that. Allow us to be angry. Let the anger out. Start fights. Start a riot in Walmart. We'll get time off, paid. We'll get to beat some people up. Be a little more considerate of your fellow Americans. Start cursing out Walmart and Target employees. Kick them in the nuts at Safeway. Do you know how much they hate it at Safeway? Probably the same amount. If they're high, they're fine. But Walmart, they actually kind of care, which is ridiculous. You're going to make me stand here for 8 hours? I mean, I don't get high. You're going to make me stand here for 8 hours, and you're not even going to allow me the option? It requires 85 IQ points to operate these machines. It takes less for the self-checkout. The only reason I have a job there is probably because of union labor laws. You would replace us in half a second. You have more self-checkout machines than you do fucking registers. And these next people, full of shit, they're like, oh, thank God, I didn't want to go through self-checkout. Those machines always have problems. No, they don't. You're retarded and lazy. Okay? You don't want that. Things would be cheaper if you didn't have to go through the registers to have us ring your shit up. And also, you're annoying. Okay? I don't need to hear that. I wish I was dead in there. I wish I wasn't hired. I wish I never met you. I wish you didn't come over here. So don't say, thank you for being here. Because, You have to be such an egomaniac to be like, yeah, I know, right? People don't like the old ways, but they're better. They're better. No, they're not. Self-checkout is much better. It's easier to steal. Well, that's the only mark I go off, whether or not it's easy to steal. But it's easy to steal. I don't have to deal with people. I'm in and out. I mean, Christ almighty. You only wanted to walk through Walmart to use your fucking tax identification card or your food stamps that you clearly don't need. Okay? You don't need food stamps. Get off the heroin. Get off the crack. I mean, Christ almighty. How the fuck do you have 2 kids? Why would you do that? Why would you not invest $30 in birth control? Do you think you're good enough to continue populating this earth? You're not. You are disgusting. You are buying fried shrimp and Hot Pockets for your children with government money. Our money. I at least live off of my parents' money. Okay? I mooch off of my family. That's how it should be. Don't mooch off of me, the person who mooches off of my family. Christ almighty. Fuck Walmart. Fuck the... I actually have this thing where I just like go fuck the Jews. Like anything. I'm not anti-Semitic, but in my own mind, like if you read the transcripts, I would definitely be looked at as anti-Semitic. There's some guys coming past me with the trailer. What am I at? 1 hour 7? Okay. It's run a little long. I'll conclude this shortly. After all the yelling. It's all just jokes here. Fucking Jews. That's what I say all day when things don't get right. I go, God, fucking Jews. That's what I would have to say when I was working. Which is, you understand racism a little more. It's a great way to vent out your problems. Like I'm at work, I look at the clock, got 6.5 hours left. Fucking Jews taking all the fucking good jobs, banking positions, raising all the prices. If I had to rank Jewish people on a scale of 1 to 10, I go a 4. Like walk out to my car during my break, the only peaceful time in my day where I can watch YouTube shorts and rub my feet. Walk out to my car, it's raining. You fucking bastards. Really? This is how you want to play it? You're going to make it rain while I walk to my car? I hope you got that. I added the second reference in there in case you thought I was just being a maniac. And you're too stupid to get that not so clever joke. But it kind of auto-corrects itself, self-corrects. There's a balancing. Something goes right. I see like there's 15 minutes left on the clock. I go, I fucking love Jewish people. Like, I'll literally do this in my head. I swear to God, I'll literally be like, I fucking love Jewish people, man. If I had to rank Jewish people out of 10, I'd give them a 9. I go with 9 a lot. When things are mediocre, sometimes I'll feel bad about giving the Jews a low rating. I'll be like, if I had to rank Jews on a scale of 1 to 10, and then I'll pause. I'll be like, I don't want to be anti-Semitic right now. And I'll go 7. Give him a 7.5, 7.2. Dave Portnoy, I like. No, I don't really care about Dave Portnoy. I could care less. I think he's funny. Oh, cop. Wonder if he's coming here. Maybe. That would be fun. No, he's pulling across. Too bad. So much for Valhalla. I was about to go out in glory. That would have been fun. Well, I think I might end this. Depending on the day, I like or dislike Jewish people. I got a Jewish friend. I mean, I'm going to show this to somebody and be like, am I mentally ill? I don't know if I'm mentally ill, but I'm probably not, since I'm asking the question. Not what the doctors say. This is a little crazy. I don't know, man. Sorry for the first 20 minutes. I think I picked it up a little bit out there. I'm trying to refine my storytelling. You know, I don't talk much, so it can be a little difficult. It takes me some time to warm up, you know what I mean? So I hope you found. I'm not releasing this, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. I don't even care. So I hope you found this slightly entertaining. Like, nobody's ever gonna listen to this. My worst fear is as I do decide to release it, and my ex it's like recommended to her, and she listens to it. I don't want that. Hour 11. Need to take a shit. So you guys have already listened to me piss a couple times. Is it you want to listen to me shit? Nobody's listening, but I'm talking to myself. I need to find people to speak to, because I am clearly off the deep end. I didn't even get to the jokes today. Damn. Well, I'll do that tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. I wonder how long it is before I run out of topics. I'm sure I'll be reusing some topics. I'm sure I'll be reusing very similar talk. Race will likely come up again. I'm hoping to get a guest. This isn't even a real thing, but I'm hoping to get a guest next month. A guy from rehab. He should be near me. Hopefully he's not off the wagon. I haven't spoken to him in a while. Just doing crack. He was a meth head, so you know, difficult road back to normalcy. Fattest meth head I've ever seen. Jesus. I mean, like, he had stopped doing meth a little bit before he checked into rehab for alcohol-related issues, because once you quit meth, there's like a big gaping hole in your life. So meth to drinking to sobriety, you know, it seems like it's pretty nice progression, actually. I respect him for it. But yeah, hopefully I'll get him on the show. Gonna keep losing some weight. Haven't had Taco Bell yet today, or Hershey Kisses, or fried chicken. Like, I literally went home and just ate 2 giant pieces of fried chicken. That's like the thing about a diet, is you have to commit. It's like, you can't be like, well, I'll just eat my 1,500 calories now in the morning and ignore my appetite later. It's like every fat guy's trick to starting a diet. It's like, well, I'm limited to 1,500 calories, but I really want to gorge myself, so I'll just eat them all now. It's never enough, by the way. The only way a diet works is if you literally start. It's like there's 3 phases to a diet. The first part is where you're constantly failing. You literally go on like binge eating sessions just by the thought of having to give up McDonald's. You go on like, I'm starting tomorrow. Oh man, I'm out. Gonna have to circle around for some more chicken McNuggets. You know, the second phase is where you've slowed down the binge eating, but you're still not fully committed. It's like one day on, one day off sort of thing. Oh man, I was good yesterday. And your stomach, it's like when you go on a diet, you don't even get hungry. Your body's like lustful for disgusting things in it. You get like I've quit drugs. I've had withdrawals before. It feels the same. It's the same as giving up sugar. It's the same as giving up Baconators, for example. You get this sharp feeling in your body where it's like, I'm not doing the thing that I normally do. It's the same feeling until you conquer that, and then you get thin for like 4 or 5 months. You go, fuck it. That's how, by the way, everybody says like a stressful event in their life happened, which is true. I've had that happen before, where I go off the wagon, and then I go, man, that shouldn't have happened. I wish that didn't happen. Then I wouldn't be doing this. There's always that moment, whether or not something terrible happens that sends you into that well. There's that moment where you just go, fuck it. There's that moment when you just go, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to do this. And I don't care. Fuck everybody who's counting on me to be sober. I'm just going to fucking do this. There's that justification. Fuck it. They don't really care. I'll be fine. It's like deep down, I just want to do this. I just want to do this drug. Why can't I have fun, man? No, it can be heartbreaking, but that's how it starts, no matter what. You can't tell me any different. I don't care if you were molested and you were sober for 3 years. I guess raped would be, since you're an adult. Molesting's like the kid version of a DWI, I guess. When you're an adult, you get raped. You get a full DWI. Stays on your record. You're a kid, ooh. You're going to be troubled. You see a kid with a DWI, you're not heading up. He's not heading down a great road. I got pulled over for a DWI once. Alright, I'm going to end this. Hour 18. Okay.